Peace, assalamu alaikum, hotep, grand rising, praise God. What's up, what's happening, or whatever it is that you ascribe to. Now I'm gonna share a story about how prison turned Lil BJ to a monster. Now you got some guys who come to prison and they be so scared. It's two things that happen. You got guys that come to prison, maybe young, maybe green, just made a mistake, just throw them away, or he just become a statistic, another young black man, wrong place, wrong time, got in some trouble, or however it went, but they come to prison and they be so scared. Two things can happen. Well, both things is they gonna get turned to something that they not. They either gonna get turned out, turned gay, or become a push, let people just run over them and push over them. And some people will say, well, if he letting that happen, then he was always that way. For example, if a guy come to prison and he get turned out, he become G-A-Y. You got some people that say, well, he was already like that. Not in all cases, because a person can be so terrified and so scared and want to make it home and want to survive in his prison, they'll just do whatever it is, or they'll do whatever the person that they're scared of, they'll just do whatever that person say. It's not always, he was always, that way in some cases. But in most cases, yeah, he probably was already that way. Either way, bro, just stay out of trouble so you won't even have to go through that. And on the other hand, you got a person that'll come to prison and be so scared, and it can turn into a monster. Now that's a dangerous thing when you picking on a scared man, but he turned to a monster. And I told y'all the story about Mop, how Mop came to prison. Mop came to prison with 3 years. He ended up getting RAPED by, I think it was like 3 or 4 dudes, I can't remember. And he ended up unaliving all them dudes, and he became a monster. The police had to kill him. They say he tried to escape from court, but I don't believe that. Like, they were so terrified of what he had became, the police killed him. The officers shot him. But anyway, Lil BJ, he was so scared, bro. Like, I can remember a time we was in a dining hall. We in Parchman, Unit 30. He had just came to prison. He probably been there a couple weeks. We was on the same zone. And I told y'all, like, whatever gang you affiliated with, like, that's who you walk with, that's who you sit with. Just so happened, he was at the table, and across from him, so just say if it's like 5 tables in there, just say you got 10 vice lords. I'm just using this for example, because it'd probably be more. You got 10 vice lords, you got 15 GDs, you got Crips and Bloods or whatever. When they come in, at this time, the vice lords always had the front of the line, and the GDs always had the back of the line. So all the vice lords in the front, what they call peons in the middle, or, like Crips and Bloods or whatever in the middle, and the GDs in the back. So when they fall in, all the vice lords they gonna fill up that table, or at least that one side of the table, and then the peons or the people who not affiliated, they gonna come to the other side. So just so happened, the Lil BJ, he was sitting across from the vice lords. We had chop, we had breakfast. Everybody sleep. You got some people in there ready to roll. They call, let me go to a commercial break if I may. Now ready to roll in prison is when you just slip too hard and you ain't get yourself ready, when they call Chow Hall, and you hear the Chow Hall and they talking about last call, they finna close the door and you just run out the door. Now, if you affiliated and you labeled a ready roll, you finna get violated. Yeah, something gonna happen to you because they don't play by you not brushing your teeth and washing your face. So you got people in there, eye boogers and, breath stinking, spit all on the mouth, them the ready rolls. But anyway, so he just so happened to be sitting across from the Vice Lord. I think we had eggs and biscuits this morning. Whatever it was, one of the Vice Lords, he just reached across the table and just took Lil BJ food and just ate it. And the police, they looking. It was one big fat police. I can't remember his name. But he laughing and shit like, man, that shit ain't funny. This dude's scared to death. And, he ain't do nothing. So, like, once people see that, people it's gonna become a habit. People was pushing them over, treating them any kind of way. Now, Lil BJ, he wasn't making no canteen. He ain't had nobody looking out on him. And that's another thing in prison. Like, if you ain't making no, if like people who make canteen or gotta hustle, they looked at as somebody in prison. Like, it didn't matter to me. Like, I don't care what you got. I don't care because you got a lockabout full of food, a lockabout full of noodles and Zulus and whatever, man. Like, that didn't make or break me. I ain't care nothing about that. But you got some people that looked at people who kept canteen, who go to the store every week, they get visits, or they gotta hustle, they got things going on, they keep their clothes clean. You got people that look at them like they something. And 9 times out of 10, when they was on the street, they probably was bums and crackheads. But, in prison, some people just thrive. Like, I guess, I don't know. But so when if you a person who don't have nothing, like, people just treat you any kind of way. And it's really sad. Like, it's really, like, I don't condone all that nonsense. Like, that's a mental issue, bro. Like, that's just crazy. But anyway, so people start handling them any kind of way, man, just talking to them in any kind of way, and horse playing with them all the time. And that's another thing in prison. When you horse playing, like, people really be sizing you up. Like, people really be sizing you up, knowing they can beat you up, man. They just, just do you any kind of way. So they were doing Lil BJ any kind of way, bro. So after a while, after some months passed by, Lil BJ, Lil BJ became affiliated. He became a GD, man, and that could be dangerous too, because now you got some form of protection. So I'm saying, like, he had been getting mistreated for so long. Like, all that stuff was building up in him. So when he became GD, even though some GD looking at it like you just in it for protection, and some GD looking like, we just gonna handle you any kind of way. You're gonna be our flunking. But that wasn't the case with Lil BJ. Lil BJ became a monster. Lil BJ, he learned what he had to learn. Being GD, they call it, the literature. And you could tell, even though he was scared when he first came in, you could tell he kind of realized how everything go. And he learned this literature and he used it to his advantage. So he became GD, and he became what they call a outstanding member. And what I mean is, even though some of the people that was on the zone, a lot of people that was on the zone when he first came in, they had left. But you had a few people that were still there. And you had some of them used to bring up, like, bro, you first came on the zone, you scary head, now you claiming GD, now you got a little nuts. And BJ had to start working out and everything. So one of the guys who was talking to him like that one day, another GD, BJ called him out, called him to the back, And so they call her OD, they form a circle. And they got in the circle, and shit, Lil BJ did it to him. He did it to him. He beat him up. And so he started getting, you know, he started getting his respect. And he became a monster to the point where anybody get out of line. He didn't care if it was GD or opposition. He gonna be ready to fight. You know, that's the type of person he became. And one time, and this when he left, he went to the hole for one time. Somebody got out of line with him, and BJ stabbed him up, man. BJ stabbed him up. He didn't unalive him, but he did it to him pretty bad. They had to come, the ambulance had to come get him. They took BJ to the hole. I don't know what happened to BJ, you know, after that, but, you know, BJ became a monster, man. He stabbed the dude because the dude was affiliated. It was another GD. The dude owed BJ some Zuzus and Wans, and when Stoke called, and when Stoke came, dude didn't have the money. And you know, BJ was asking him about it, and dude amped up on BJ, and BJ stabbed him up, man. I'm saying, like, it's a dangerous thing for a scary person to once they get that confidence, bro, and all of that done happened to them, it built up, and he just became a monster. And I'm quite sure if some of them guys, especially the guy who took his food out the diner hall that day, I'm quite sure if BJ was who he became when that happened, he would have done it to that dude, you know what I mean? So I'm just saying, bro, it's a dangerous thing to be picking on people, no matter how scared they may seem, man, because, you know, you can pick on the wrong person, and after so much, man, they just get tired of dealing with it, man, you know what I mean? So like I said, I don't know what happened to BJ. I know he came in with like 5 years. I don't know if he ended up getting some more time, or, you know, he slipped through the cracks and made it home. I don't know, man. So y'all just stay out of trouble so y'all don't even have to go through that. Until the next video. Peace.